Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And today we're going to give our first impressions of Sleeping Gods. So that wasn't actually a full first playthrough since it's kind of a campaign structured game, and I think it's going to take, based on the pacing we're at right now, probably going to take 10 plus hours for the whole campaign, the whole game. But yeah, we're through. So you shuffle this deck of cards, of 18 cards, and you do that, I think, 3 times for a whole campaign. And we're through about, I think, what did we count? What did Abby and I count? I think we counted 10, I think we're through 10 of the first 18 cards. So we're about a sixth of the way through the whole campaign.
Nice.
So still have a lot to explore for sure. But yeah, what were you, I guess, when I first heard that he was making this game, which I think was, I don't know how long, a couple of years ago now maybe, when I first saw the cover and the name of it, I was like, oh, this looks really, really good. And then at that time, I still kind of like Pepper, I think that might have been about the time he was maybe starting to try out some cooperative games, because we weren't really into cooperative games. And when I found out that's what this was, I was like, that's disappointing. Because yeah, the cover got me really, really excited. But then now we've played more and more cooperative games. I've actually really enjoyed them. Well, not you so much, so we'll see what you think. But for me personally, I was like, well, I've heard, I've played a lot of these really great cooperative games, and I've heard a lot of people just rave about this one, this Red Raven game. But yeah, and I'm the artwork is fantastic. So actually, I got pretty excited. I have pretty high expectations going into it.
You never.
No, never.
High
Never,
expectations?
ever. Yes.
Never.
But I guess, you kind of surprised me a little bit, because when I had gotten this, I'm like, well, I'm going to have to play this with Jesse, because I'm guessing Michaela has almost no interest in it. And maybe once I play it a little bit, maybe I'll get her to at least try it. But then
what?
You were like, no, I want to try it.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe you didn't know it was cooperative? I don't know.
I don't think I knew anything about this. I think the only time I'd ever heard of this game was, I think, on like Jamie Stegmeier's Instagram, where he had mentioned that he loves Sleeping Gods, or maybe it was even his live cast, I think, that he talked about how much he loved this game and whatever. And so I kind of was surprised that Zach hadn't gotten it yet. And so then when it came, I was like, all right, not surprised about that. But I was a little surprised because you were like, oh, I don't know if you're going to like it, and I don't know if you're going to want to play it. And you're like, oh, it's crunchy, or it's heavy, or I don't know.
Well, I heard, I guess
so
I wasn't
like,
sure if it was
oh, boy,
crunchy.
don't oversell it.
Right. I think I had just heard it was kind of hard to get into originally, I think. But yeah, I guess I wasn't sure. I knew that part, but I wasn't sure how heavy it would be after the fact, so I was just a little worried.
Yeah. No, and I think, honestly, it's not that bad. Like, we played Clank Legacy, and so it very much reminds me of Clank Legacy in certain aspects. And then on the other side, I play D&D with my siblings, and so the rest of it is really just a basic, more of an easy-to-follow D&D situation.
Right,
so.
And it's still, like, open-worldy, but it's not quite as open as... your D&D.
Yeah, you can only go to whatever place on the map. You probably
and I'm not actually sure if I know there's an expansion. I don't know if part of that is the expansion or if the expansion actually adds more to that map.
Okay.
But there is like an expansion that there's apparently some places you can't get to without the expansion, but it doesn't like affect apparently the outcome of anything.
Okay.
It just adds more places. But
yeah. So I don't think it's very hard at all. I think co-op is similar to Clank and D&D if you're in a group setting where you're questing together. It's exactly the same feel that I get for that. It's just, okay, it's your turn. Now you decide what to do. You have these options available to you without kind of like the more rigorous things in D&D. Like combat, I think, is probably a little bit more difficult in D&D, and like the traveling aspect too is different, so it all just depends. But yeah, it feels very very similar to Clank Legacy when we were going through that, and then
The story part.
the story
Right.
part. Yep.
Yeah, because that still has some competitive portions
Yes,
to it.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that one definitely helps if you are playing a little
Yeah.
bit cooperatively.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It's maybe a little frustrating. Like you made a choice last night to go fight rats at a level that I don't think we were at. Like, and so it was like, well, I guess we're gonna do this, and so we did, and well, we won, but by the
At what cost?
chin of our, by the hair of our chinny chin, I was like, well,
Yeah, I think I mainly wanted to do it because we hadn't
yeah,
done any
thought
yet.
I knew
I was
you
just
wanted
excited.
to. I saw the twinkle in your eye.
Well, I know because yeah, we had an opportunity before that to fight something,
Yeah.
and we chose not to because that was even a higher level.
Yeah.
Well-
it was like deadly or dangerous level, which
Mhm.
is one level below the top. So, and it was like, I'm expanded on everything, so I don't
It
know.
didn't matter that much.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to try it out because
D&D, you can't die. Like, you don't want to die. There's life preserving, like, there's a life preserving mentality where we're playing, what was it called? A neutral or a normal board, so it probably didn't matter that much, but still, I don't like to die.
I know. And we didn't actually. We just, we
Barely.
took some damage.
Yeah,
But I mean,
everybody.
I think that's part of the game. Otherwise, how are we ever going to learn?
Sure.
I was just actually surprised we hadn't run into anything before that.
Well,
and
I
the
mean,
first two that we've run into have been medium to higher leveled things.
It's kind of surprising because that's where they start you out. It's like, here,
Right.
die.
Yeah, because Abby was actually reading afterwards some hints that we may not have probably. I should have read that. I don't think I did. And that probably would have changed how we've been playing it a little bit and maybe made things a little better for us.
Interesting.
Yeah, some of it is related to going to the market. We actually have not gone to the market at all. And I don't know if anyone's played Sleeping Gods, that might be something we should have done at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, you can it suggests getting more recipes as early as you can to get better ones than the ones we currently started off with.
I like flapjacks.
We haven't even, did we make any?
Yeah, I think.
Once, maybe?
Yeah.
But then it also said you could get possibly a weapon in there.
Oh.
I said to try to get that before, so we have not done
So,
any of that.
The dog wasn't.
Spoilers!
Oh, sorry.
Well, they got to find that on their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it had some tips like that, and what did you bring up that made me think of the tips? I'm blanking because I don't. It wasn't that, but that was one of the things. Oh, and it was saying we should be trying to use as many of these as possible because at the end of this they get wiped.
Oh.
So
but you only ever
actually
get
filling
two?
up. Well, you get two, but they'll get wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
You can use
I wish you
XP
could
to buy
stack 'em,
further.
though.
You can stack some special ones that you can
Oh.
get, but those cost XP, and we haven't gotten much XP yet either. We actually,
We got two.
I'm still really excited because we've got a lot to explore. I think
Yeah.
we haven't actually left the first page that we started on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking everything about this. It's like you said, it feels kind of like that Clank, and that is actually, I liked Clank before we played Clank Legacy, and now playing, because you can play Clank Legacy your board afterwards after you're done, and get a very similar game to Clank. But now it feels like it's missing something, and the story mode in this I've really enjoyed a lot so far.
But how
And
many
I
times
think the
can
combat
you go
is
through
interesting.
it, though? Like,
Well, how many sheets do you have there?
but like you could play that many campaigns. It's always the
You
same.
could probably.
Though.
I think Tom had said that because there's 13 different endings that you can get.
Oh, really?
Tom was thinking that he thought maybe they had seen like 20% of it after going through one campaign. 20% of everything there was to explore, I think, or maybe less than that even.
Really?
So you could do a lot. And I mean, if you think about it, we're already halfway through. I mean, 1/6 through, and we've only seen one of the 17 different pieces so far, and we haven't even explored all this.
We haven't even found one single totem yet.
Yeah, we gotta do that. But yeah, I really like how it all works together. I like the different characters and kind of utilizing them the best you can, and managing these command tokens. I think is an interesting thing. Oh yeah, it said to also use her a lot, and I don't think we've used her that much, but
I
that's
was
just to
thinking
get more
we
options
probably
of
should
cards.
because she gives you more cards.
Yeah, but Yeah, it'll be interesting, after reading those tips to see if we play it slightly differently, see kind of what's going on. But yeah, it feels like everything in this game is pretty tight. If you spend coins on anything, it seems like you're almost out of coins then, and they're not that easy to get, and like the food stuff isn't that easy to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it seems like it's just the right amount for me so far for difficulty. It doesn't feel like it's so hard that we have no chance of winning anything, but it doesn't feel like overly easy either.
Right. No, I think there's some strategy to it. It's just, yeah, I think it is. It's hard because with the background of Clank Legacy and D&D, like I feel like this is totally manageable. I just don't know, like without those things, what this would be like. It's still not that difficult, and I think it would be fun for you anyway. Or either way. I mean, if you're into these kind of open world pieces where you get to flip through a book and make choices, I think that's a really niche thing in board gaming, and I think that this game does it pretty well.
Yeah, I would actually. I wanted to. So you got pretty tired. We played it a little later.
Well, we played
you got tired.
We'd been playing for like 2.5 hours.
That is true, but I was like, I could play this for another 2.5 hours.
I know.
So I
was
would think it
falling
right now.
Asleep at the table.
You were
I was so tired.
I was like, oh, she doesn't
It's
like
not
this
a
at all.
reflection on the game. I just had
Yeah.
gotten up early and I was up late. So.
Because I would probably initially give it like a 9 to 9.5.
Oh snap!
I'm really liking it. It does feel like a lot of the other cooperative games that I've played lately that I really like. I really like the story so far.
Well, if
I
it
think
feels
it's
like
been-
all the other cooperative game, what sets it apart then? If it feels like all the other cooperative games, what sets it apart? Would you say you like this one more?
I think this one, like compared to some of the other, I don't think any of the other ones have like a story like this one that we've played. Because I'm like thinking of like Cthulhu Death May Die. That's not really a story. It's a different type of fun, I would say. And then like Pandemic Legacy, I guess has a little bit of story, but it's not even close to as in depth as this.
Yeah.
So I just like the in-depth story, and I think I'll like the combat system quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's why I really wanted to do it.
I think we need to relook at that because it talked about splash damage, and you weren't doing that when we were fighting the
I was
rats.
doing splash damage is against them.
Yeah, but I thought it went on to the other card.
You did do that.
It was part of one of my
You were
things.
falling asleep, I think.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying with
Yeah.
it, but you had yours go to both of the people you were fighting. So I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Could have missed something. But I guess that. So then for you, you don't usually give a rating, but would you? I mean, like when you got up this morning, I'll say kind of like you with. It was Clank Legacy, right? That you
Yeah.
had a dream about.
Yeah.
I literally dreamed about this last night.
I think I dreamed about. Did I dream about Clank Legacy as we were going through the campaign,
I
or
think
was it after?
It was
yeah.
during the.
Yeah, it was weird. I've never dreamed about a board game before, and it was just like,
Yeah.
here you're in Clank Legacy.
Yeah, I was dreaming about
That's
this
funny.
one last night. So.
Well, we set it up. We left it up last night in planning to play it, but I don't think we're gonna get the time here today, so we'll probably put it away. But
Yeah.
I don't think I have much of a choice. Even if I didn't want to come back to the table, I'm pretty sure you'd force me back. But
Wow.
I do want to come back. So
Is it a 9 out of 10 excitement level of getting back to it?
maybe.
I guess comparatively to like other games that you've played after the first time, is this like you want to get back to it more than average, or about average or less?
Well, see,
It's tough
that's
because
really
there's
hard
not really a
because-
stopping point in this game
Yeah.
until you get through a whole campaign of it,
Yeah.
which I think is what makes it tough.
Yeah.
Because too, I'm sure you want to kind of keep it going versus
Yeah.
having big gaps between it.
Yeah, we don't want to put this on the shelf and then leave it for
Right. And then
extended
kinda forget.
periods of time.
So yeah, that part is tough. I do usually like a quicker conclusion or like hard stop points, and I don't think this really.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. I mean, we haven't got through that first deck yet. Maybe after that, it'll feel like it
I
could be
felt
a
like
hard
we
stop.
stopped at a good spot, though.
Yeah, I think we did, but I don't know. I think that'd be the only thing that makes it a little tough because you don't really never even that. I mean,
Yeah.
if we would have kept going, it wouldn't have felt like, oh, that feels like we're starting a new.
Yeah. Well, it'll be hard to say until we actually put it away and then try and take it back out, because that was always like the struggle, I think. Well, it wasn't really a struggle with Clank Legacy, but like there's all this stuff on the table and you have to know how much you had and whatever, and I think it has ways for you to set that up, but like when you have like the whole table covered, it's just such a hard thing to put it all away.
Yeah, I think there's like baggies to put each individual person in and stuff, but I still am not sure. This one still feels like a pretty big setup, and I think that is also a thing that makes it hard to do some of these types of games. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we can get it back out sooner than later.
Yeah.
But if it were up to me, I would definitely play it right now.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to speak for Abby, but I think she liked it quite a bit because she was kind of reading through the rules and stuff afterwards and looking at the characters' backgrounds. I do like the stories.
I think it took a hot minute, but then she was in it. She was like, I think it took her a second to be like, what is happening? It's like everything. And she's played D&D, but she hasn't played Clank Legacy. And so then I think when she got the hang of it, she was like, yeah, we're going.
Yes.
So
she wanted to explore all the locations, so
exactly.
it'll be good to get through all of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of our initial thoughts. We'll maybe have, when we finish the campaign, we'll maybe do our final thoughts on it. Maybe we can get Abby to even join us and give her thoughts on what she thought of the whole thing once we finish through one whole. I'm sure we still won't see everything, but
yeah.
If you wanna see that when we eventually post it, you'll have to subscribe. So you can hit the notification so you'll know when that comes out. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling
on our content.